What's this? Another video from yours truly? This must be Christmas right now. Nah, but in all seriousness though, yo, what's good? What's cracking? It's Jay, and you already know I'm trapping. And welcome to a Persona 5 news segment. Well, I don't know if I call it a segment or not, but this is a news video, if you may call it. And pretty much, like I've said, I've devoted myself to covering this game till its release, like I did with that trailer analysis. So now I'm gonna go over some news because this is actually this really will give us a good idea of the story. So like when I went to class, I was like searching around online and I found this article. I'll leave a link down in the description. And it said that Persona 5 stars delinquents and was partially inspired by Lupin the Third. Now for those of you who don't know what Lupin the Third is or who Lupin the Third is, he's pretty much like this manga slash anime like anti-hero protagonist, if I may call it. He's a thief in what sense? I don't know anything about the Lupin the Third. I've heard of it, I know who he is, mostly because like when I got this demo disc for Christmas years ago, there was this Lupin the Third game of what sort, but I really don't know much about Lupin, but I kind of know the concept. So this article, pretty much a lot of people were speculating that the team of Persona 5 cast, I may say, were delinquents, which kind of makes sense because they were like all in disguise wearing masks, and you know the main character gives me some weird vibes, so like that kind of does make sense. So let me just read the article off the top right here right now. It says the Persona team is finally ready to talk about its latest footage, its latest baby, releasing the first Persona 5 gameplay footage earlier today. Reading between the lines of information released, so far some have speculated that the game's protagonists are delinquents. I just said that. And according to the director Katsura Hashino, that's a pretty fitting assessment. So it says here in quotations, one of the things that inspired us to make this question to begin with was how, say, a classic iconic thief in the vein of Lupin 3, or Lupin the Third, might win the hearts and minds of people in today's day and age. If they were running out around, that was the ending of the quotation, my bad. And Hashino told Famitsu in an interview translated by Shimatsu, there have been lots of books, films over the years that explore the sort of lives that thieves live, but that's not ground, that's very well covered in games. So, and another quotation, there have been lots of books and films over the years that explore the sorts of lives that thieves live and how they're able to shake up the world. With that, many would perceive to be sheer brazenness, but that's not ground. That's very well covered in games, and we intend to re-citify that. We want our players to be able to empathize with these characters and enjoy seeing what they get themselves into, and we're giving it everything we've got to make sure that comes through loud and clear in the final game. Elsewhere in the interview, Hashino described the group as high school punks are trying to bite back at the world that's trying to pin them down, and mentioned that he hopes the game gives people a little courage to keep going in their day-to-day lives, to face things head on and do something with themselves. I don't think it's a stretch to say that in this day and age, there are lots of people out there who feel like they're moving forward, that have no future and carry a lot of weight on their shoulders. Every day, he said, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, emotionally speaking. On the one hand, they might not be keen on living by the same rules and values that define previous generations, while still lacking the will to go out and actually break those barriers down themselves. That dark side of society is a central pillar to the game we want to make with Persona 5. Oh shit, there's more. In previous Persona games, the story revolved around pretty traditional heroes. The protagonists of Persona 5 themselves are on the run for doing something that they think is right, after something happens completely out of the blue. like an anti-hero. So like, who's a good example? Like, take someone like Ichigo from Bleach. My guy said Bleach. He was what we would consider an anti-hero because he only does the shit he did because he thought it was right and not because everyone else did or because he had to. So yeah, that's a good, I'll use that as an example, even though I despise Bleach, but you know, that's another story. Okay, and Hashino said, elaborated in a letter posted on the Persona channel. In a nutshell, if we're trying to explain what this game is trying to evoke, I'd say it's like you took something like a Picaresque novel and then threw in, for lack of a better word, realistic, down-to-earth academy juveniles. And, and it kind of makes sense. Like, you look at the cast that were revealed in today's trailer, and they don't exactly look like the type of characters that you would have saw like you or Minato hanging around with. So you kind of get that vibe of like delinquency. So it kind of does make sense in a way. And what else it says? In previous Persona stories revolved around pretty traditional heroes going after villains. That's true, all of them, that most anyone would be loath to associate with themselves with. They pursued the bad guys for the sake of justice. Essentially, this time around though, the protagonists of Persona 5 themselves are on the run for doing something they think is right after something happens completely out of the blue. So, oh, hold on, that's what I'm saying. The mixture of frills and not so larger than life casts of characters is what composes the idea of academy juveniles for us. We think that these characters are going to be a little rougher around the edges than those who have come before them in the series. Yeah, so basically they're trying to, I guess I can say, spice it up a bit, you know. They're not trying to like be the same thing over again, like the whole saving this person because we have no choice, you know, because I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the stories in both Persona 3 and 5, but you know, if they keep doing it again, it will eventually get competitive. So the fact so the fact that they're trying to change it up is a good step. So I can't wait for this game even more, because it's gonna feel like a whole different type of Persona game now that we're not just saving people for the sake of saving them. We're doing what we want to do, which is actually, that's pretty much like my mindset. Like, I don't like, I know it might sound like, oh my god. It's like, I'd rather do something that I think is the right thing than do it just because society tells me to. And that's pretty much exactly what the protagonists in Persona 5 are like. So I think it's pretty cool. They're trying something different, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna work out in the long run. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this segment. Sorry I didn't do a good job trying to cover this. No, I really suck at reading between articles. Oh, what the heck, it says read between the lines right there. But anyways, if more Persona 5 news does come out, I will do a video on it. This is just like the first segment. If there is any more news, I will definitely report on it. So once again, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and I will have more videos coming like on Monday. This is like another one because I just found more news. So once again, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.